Hi everyone, welcome to my fifth and, as of right now, final part of my Strawberry Shortcake redesign series. If you haven't seen any of these before, this is just a series I've started where I redesign Strawberry Shortcake characters into kind of a high school AU that I made up. I'll put a link to the full playlist in the description below. Now it's time to take a look at the main character herself, Strawberry Shortcake. Okay, before I begin, 2 quick notes. I think there's construction going on around me, so there might be some background noise. Also, I'm not sure entirely what happened with my video recording software, but some of the video footage got a little bit corrupted and later on it makes it start flashing. If you prefer to avoid that, you can skip to this point in the video and just see the final product. Okay, so right off the bat, she's supposed to be a bit more naive and outgoing than a lot of the other characters. And honestly, I had a bit of trouble trying to figure out the best way to express that. So I tried my best to express this kind of seize the day attitude in her pose. I'm not totally sure I succeeded. Posing is definitely something that I will need to improve upon in the future. Also, one other thing I noticed as I'm going back and watching this, I used a different style for the eyes than I have for every other drawing that I've done, and I think that's mainly because I've been experimenting with different eye styles in my own personal drawings, and that bled through here, and I didn't notice until I was editing this now. But yeah, I tried to maintain kind of like that shape that you have with a strawberry, so kind of like a really round triangle, which sounds really weird, but that is the best way I could think to describe it. So yeah, with the hair, I knew that I wanted it to be a little bit wavy. I don't really have a specific reason for it, it just felt like it fit for her. And so I experimented a bit with a few different styles before I came on one that I liked, and that included bangs. I realized I hadn't really included that in anyone else up until this point. I also brought back the beanie that they gave her in the reboot, just because I feel like it was such a cool design choice and I actually liked it a lot. Also, I think hats are just kind of synonymous with her character, so it was important to maintain that aspect of her character, I guess. Also, once again, I forgot about the mood boards, so if you would like to see her mood board, you can just pause the screen here. I don't know how obvious this is, but for her fashion sense, I decided to lean very heavily into the countryside of her character, because I know it's something that like a lot of iterations of the character have focused on and brought up, but I don't think any of them have truly like embodied this idea, so I try to completely embrace it. So I hinted at this a little bit earlier, but her character is very naive and a little too trusting, but generally very optimistic and kind of ambitious. She grew up in a very close-knit, highly supportive community, so she's not used to the unknown and unfeeling strangers around her and kind of the fast-paced high expectations of the school that she's been placed in. Unlike a lot of her peers, she has more of a focus on home-style comfort food in her baking, which I kind of touched on in the raspberry video. That's something that's kind of looked down upon because it's not seen as inventive enough or like highbrow breaking the mold kind of thing. The way I described her cooking style in my notes is homestyle goodness with a splash of modernity. So she is really inventive and works hard to actually like break the mold and try new things. But because she's this country girl who wants to make comforting food, people don't see it that way. Other aspects of her character that I included in my notes are that she is a people pleaser and she wants to make literally everyone happy and can be hard on herself when she doesn't do that. And she also tends to take a lot of her criticism personally. And that's something that she needs to strive and overcome if she wants to improve, especially at this very competitive school. Another aspect of her character that I specifically mentioned in my notes is that she had been on the wait list to get into this school, and it was only because somebody got kicked out that she got a spot in. And yeah, I know, this is kind of taking inspiration from Rainbow High, but I feel like it fit. So that means she got thrown into this school after they started, which makes her even more of a fish out of water. It also means characters like Raspberry look down on her a lot because she wasn't good enough to make it into the school the first time. Another really kind of funny thing that I noticed in my notes, and it's weirdly specific, is that the bed space that she got in after being on the wait list for so long is rumored to be cursed because 3 people have gone through it already, even though they're not that far into the school year. I think this could also add some motivation to Strawberry's character, where she's terrified that she's going to be kicked out of the school because everybody who's lived in the spot that she has been kicked out already. And so she's trying really hard to prove herself and to remain a student at the school. But yeah, one of her strengths is that she's genuinely kind and outgoing, so she tends to make really good friends and really good connections with people that helps her succeed a lot. And she knows that she doesn't have to like try to work through everything on her own, even though she is a very ambitious character too. So I haven't touched on what I actually gave her as her outfit. So to kind of play up the country angle, I gave her this kind of denim button-down top blouse thing that I saw in a lot of the pictures that I looked at, and I thought it would probably suit her and give her a little bit of practicality. And then I also paired it with this really like light and airy fluffy skirt. You see a lot of the different styles on the mood board that I put together. And I thought it kind of reminded me of the shape of a strawberry a little bit, and I thought it was a really cute addition to the outfit that fit her personality a lot. Then I also gave her this kind of wide, I don't even know what you would call them, but they are definitely a belt that you associate with the kind of country cowgirl style. And going off of that too, I gave her cowboy boots. I just think they tied her outfit together nicely, and I definitely think her character is one that would wear them because she's very proud of her country heritage. The coloring for this drawing was a lot more difficult than for some of the other ones, even like Raspberry, where there was a lot of like samey colors. I think for this one I just struggled with trying to come up with a color scheme that I liked and thought was true to the character while still like kind of giving off the vibe I wanted. I wasn't sure what her skin tone normally was, so I kind of did this pink-ish color, but looking back I think I definitely should have just done an eyedropper tool on some of her old reference pictures and just kind of repeated what they had done in the past. I don't necessarily think the color I picked looks bad, I think it would have looked better if I had actually like made it line up with her old skin tones better. Another thing that was difficult was knowing what color hair to give her, because in past iterations of the character, some have been like super redhead, others have been more pink, so I think originally I start out by giving her this very like pastel pink hair, and I think I kind of keep it, but I kind of make it a little bit darker by adding in some reds later, I believe. I just thought a more pastel-y color fit more with her naive attitude, and she's kind of like this sweet and caring girl. But I also wanted to be more true to the character. Also, I don't think any of the other characters have really had pastel hair. Most of their hair has been pretty dark, so that would make her stand out a bit. I also made her eyes kind of like this magenta color to begin with, because I realized I was making a lot of people's eyes green. And then I decided it kind of looked weird and I didn't really like it, so I eventually kind of give in, and I think I give her more hazily green eyes, but they're still definitely green. Whoops, editing me from the future. Her eyes are more teal green. That was my mistake. And I knew I couldn't completely leave the red out of her design, so I made sure to make her earrings like the color of actual strawberries. And yeah, I guess I forgot to mention earlier, but she has like giant strawberry earrings and a strawberry necklace, and I just thought they were really cute. I also gave her freckles because I've noticed in some versions of the character she has the freckles, and I think they look really cute, and it's kind of like seeds on a strawberry. I just think it's a really nice little touch to her character, even if I'm not that good at drawing freckles yet. I do think the hardest part for me to color was her outfit, because I realized I wanted her jacket to be kind of denim, and then I realized that's more blue than green, and well, we already have Huckleberry and Blueberry, and they both wear blue, and I didn't want her to match them too much, so I kind of tried to make it a more light pastel-y blue, because as I said earlier, I was focusing on more pastel colors. But it also felt kind of like a betrayal to not use the pink and green and red color scheme of other strawberries. So I kind of included that in her skirt, which is a more very light, it started out as a light pink anyway, but it's I think I made it the color of the strawberry seeds on her necklace, to kind of incorporate that like element of her character. I actually do go back in on her belt, even though it's brown. I add a little bit of green on the detailing so it looks a little bit more like leaves, kind of like a strawberry. I think also on her skirt I added some like sparkle texture to it, so there's kind of some dots. You can't really see it though, but it's kind of like strawberry seeds as well. Also, in my original design, I made her boots this cream color with like brown soles and then green on the top, but I realized that looked kind of weird and too matchy with her skirt. I tried to darken it a bit and see like if green worked, or if I could like make the boots a little bit lighter but not like too samey. Eventually I gave up and just made them like a dark magenta brown. But yes, because she needed the red in her hair, I made her hoodie red, even though I think I'm not sure, I haven't seen it in a while, but I think in the reboot it's more of a pink color. But yeah, I definitely went more red this time. Another thing I did was I added the seed pattern of like a strawberry on her hoodie. or not hoodie, sorry, beanie. Normally I don't like making huge patterns like this. It's just not something I'm very good at, but I'm glad that I did it for this because I think it really makes her beanie look a lot more like a strawberry. And then once again, I experimented with the shading. I think I'm really starting to understand how light works a lot better. And like I said in the raspberry video, I'm not perfect. I'm just proud of myself for trying something new and how far I've come because of it. Okay, I know this is like taking out of the video, but I'm just so annoyed sitting here watching all the flashing. I'm so sad and so sorry that my recording software did this. I think I'm pretty happy with how she turned out. I know there's definitely a few things I'd maybe go back and fix now, but I don't think she looks too bad. Now, this is the end of my very first redesign series, and my first attempts at doing speed paints. I think it's just really interesting and cool to see how much I've grown in this time. I think I'll put up the whole Strawberry Shortcake gang on the screen, but you can just see from blueberry to strawberry how much I've evolved in the span of just a few months, because life is busy and I can't have a good upload schedule yet. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and for all of you who have seen this entire series through. I'm gonna move on to new projects now. I do have more Strawberry Shortcake characters that I made mood boards and came up with ideas for, but I want to move on to a different project, specifically one that's Zelda themed, and I'm pretty excited about. It's definitely going to test my limits. So if you want to see more things like this, then go ahead and like and subscribe this video, and just stick around if you like. Anyway, thank you for watching. Bye.